Huntington person you're going to meet. We're going on a tour today. So when we're on that tour, what do you think they're going to see? You got cake all over the place. Wow, Queen. Holy moly. Janet, what do you think they'll see? So yeah, I can see that within this context. Janet? Okay, when we walked in here today, a Huntington executive, so I'm going to call him an executive, opened the door, and clearly he was way ahead of Albert and me and Queen, and he stood there and kept that door open. And I was like, well, I'm always impressed when people have a busy day that they take the time out to just wait there for me to get there. And I told him how much I appreciated that. So yeah, so just think about that. We are out here representing Brigham School, and of course you're representing yourself. I just want you to just keep that in there. All right, so I'm done now, and I'm going to turn it over to Deja and John, for those of you who haven't met. John Owens. John?
Deja, you want to start or you want me to start?
I guess I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mary wanted me to speak a little bit about gratitude. So my phone was, I found a couple quotes about gratitude that I think kind of speak about like my last 2 weeks and the last 2 months that I was here really. The first one is when you're grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. And the second one is gratitude opens the door to the power, the wisdom, the creativity of the universe. You open the door through gratitude. And it kind of, yesterday, we had a little team meeting and we talked about me leaving. And one of the things that one of the ladies said was that she just wanted to leave me with a piece of encouragement. And that last quote kind of reminded me of that. And I really appreciated it.
All right. So is there anything that you want to talk now, or John to talk about what this internship has been for you? Because truly this is going to be the Deja and John Huntington Bank Show. And I appreciate you starting with gratitude, I really do. Because in the end, guys, gratitude is the name of the game. It really is. To be grateful for anything and everything. So you kick it off, and then that'll be a segue into introducing John. What has this experience been like?
I was really nervous coming here. You know, I kind of had the mindset of, Huntington's a really big place. There's going to be a lot of snobby people, and I kind of, but that's not at all how it was. And I mentioned that before. Everyone here is kind of like a little family. John's of course the dad, and so I mean it's really nice. Like everyone is, really thoughtful and thankful, and you kind of all just joke around. And I got a lot out of it, a lot more than I thought about it. So I'm really excited for after graduation, what I'm gonna do, what my plans are, what kind of doors are open for me, and I kind of realized like there's a lot that I could do after graduation. Especially with having like Huntington on my resume, like that's going to look really good. And I've been considering college and other like small classes a lot more. Because at first I wasn't really thinking about it at all, but I think it's made me think about it. So I'm looking into classes and stuff.
Okay, so introduce John. How would you introduce him?
Well, this is John. He's the CEO and head chef here. He's kind of he's OG. I don't know how to explain him.
That's my nickname, OG. My guys call me OG. We have a lot of fun here at the Huntington. It's an honor. First of all, it's an honor and privilege to get to meet each and every one of you. This program, to me, is one of the most important things that I see going on out there in the younger generations upcoming through school and just being able to learn and get out and do walkabouts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me so you know who I am. Like Deja said, my name is John. And how many of you here know where Lancaster, Ohio is? Everybody knows where Lancaster is, a little small town. I grew up there. That's where I started off from. I spent my first 18 years of my life in Lancaster, Ohio. Went to Lancaster High School, graduated in 1992, and joined the United States Navy. And I joined in Lancaster, Ohio. So I left from there, flew straight out to California, did my basic training. They told me I was going to be a mess management specialist. I had no clue what it was. But when I showed up, the guy that got us off the bus had a spatula in his hand and a chef's hat on. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. So I got off the bus, found out that my program was actually going to be in culinary arts. I had spent a little bit of time, not much, kind of doing some things in restaurants. I think I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everybody knows what Rack's roast beef is. I did a little bit there. And again, like I said, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So I got my feet wet with the kitchen, and then when I showed up in the military and found out that I was going to be in culinary, I was a little bit overwhelmed, but I took it and I ran with it, okay? And I jotted a few notes down here that I kind of wanted to share with you. Again, I did 21 years in the United States Navy. Spent most of my time overseas on ships. Also spent some time in Washington, D.C. Actually, my senior tour as a senior chief petty officer in the United States Navy, I ran the facility that trained the chefs that worked in the Pentagon and the White House. So I actually have chefs that are working in the White House for President Obama right now. So it was really, really cool. I've got to do some really amazing things. On the aircraft, my first ship was the John F. Kennedy, which is no longer in service. I think it's a museum now. They actually decommissioned it a few years back. But that was my first ship. We had 5,000 people on board. We served 4 meals a day. And I did everything from cashier, customer service rep, safety officer, combat warrior, custodian, emergency medical responder, officer of the deck, conning officer. Conning officer, a lot of people don't know what that is, but I actually drove ships. Mentor, of course, executive chef eventually down the road, expert weapons handler, military police, traffic safety officer, recruiter, regional chef, resident director, and finally a leader, okay? And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us get wrapped around the axles with, you know, what do we want to do? What do we want to do with our lives? I can tell you from experience that, you know, you probably won't figure that out until, you know, maybe 5 or 10 years from now after you're done with college and you finally get your first real job. But everything that you're doing now, your walkabouts and your jobs, your part-time, how many people's got a part-time job in here? Okay, so you're actually working. You're going to learn your basic skills, your basic leadership skills, and things that are going to make you successful at those jobs. Now, if you would have told me that when I was sitting in your shoes, you know, 40 years ago, I would have probably said, you know, what is he talking about? You know, I mean, I go to work every day, I show up, I do my thing, and I go home. But really, that's how we learn our basics. You know, we learn how to be on time. We learn how to have a good work ethic. We learn how to listen to people. Believe it or not, that's hard to do sometimes. It's hard to listen to people. We learn how to communicate. We learn how to be professional. Okay? All these little things that we don't think much about is what you're learning now in your walkabouts. And that's why I think it's so cool that you guys actually chose this school and are in this program to where you get to go out and experience these little things that I'm talking about. Deja made a good point. She was nervous when she came here. You were in culinary, though, before you came. You did some baking and things like that. So she had a little bit of experience, not much. But she can tell you that it wasn't what she expected when she showed up. So anything you do, make the best of it. Try to learn from the leaders. Try to learn their skills. Because at some point in your life, you're going to take those skills and you're going to have them in your back pocket. You're going to be able to pull them out and you're going to be able to lead other people. You're going to be able to share that with other people, teach them, and help them to get better in their lives. Okay, and that's what it's all about. Talked a little bit about the walkabouts. Very, very important that you learn things while you're in these. Wanted to talk a little bit about skills. I wanted to talk a little bit about Deja, because that's what we're here for today, is because Deja chose to come to Huntington. I told you when she first got here, and she told you the same thing, she really didn't know what to expect, but I can tell you that she came in, she was very open to what we do, provide meals for the Huntington executives and the employees that work in the building. She grasped it, and I gotta tell you, I have not seen very many people her age with the maturity and the skill that she's shown since she's been here, and that's pretty amazing. So, and I'm quite sure each and every one of you guys have done the same thing. Mary runs a great program. I'm very happy to be able to work with her. And I can tell you as a hiring manager, and as a person that has a degree and has been through college and in the military as a recruiter and a leader, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for someone that's coming off the street that has none of these skills, okay? We want people that's going to come to us that have the desire to go out and learn the things you guys are learning, to be professional, to show the work ethics. And that's what it's all about. Again, like I said, I can't say enough about these programs. Learn as much as you can. If you guys have any questions for me as far as military, is anybody in here interested in going to the military after you graduate? Maybe not, maybe so. Well, if you have any questions, if anything pops up, Mary can contact me. I would definitely be a great advocate to go to talk about military programs and what there is out there to offer. College is another big one. Like I said, you know, there's a million programs out there. I highly suggest that you figure out kind of what your interests are and continue your education, continue to do the things you're doing, because that's in the end, that's what's gonna make you successful and build who you are gonna be for the rest of your life. So, other than that, I don't have much more. Again, like I said, Deja it's been a pleasure and an honor. We now have, how do you pronounce your first name again? Madi. I just met her today. Madi? Yes. Yeah, Madi is her nickname. So we've got her, we're excited about that. And again, like I said, just make the best of your walkabouts. And as we move through the meeting today, if you have any questions for me, let me know. But again, when you come to me as the hiring manager and I know that you've done a walkabout and you have these skills, or you've worked another job and you've been successful, you've got a reference, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what's going to get you your next job. That's how you're going to take your next step in life, and that's how you're going to be successful. Any questions on anything I just talked about right now? Okay, hopefully everybody had the opportunity to get a drink and a cupcake, and we'll be doing a tour here a little bit later. If you have any questions when we go on that, let me know.
I wanted to, all right, so Dave, I want you to take this in either in two directions, okay? And you can take both. First of all, what is our time? Does anybody really know what time it is?
2:26.
2:26. Okay, so we're gonna take probably about 8 minutes right now, and then we'll do the tour, which is gonna be really cool. So Deja, I would like for you to describe John as a mentor. What is it that got you up every morning? I know you said it's like a family here, but I want you to describe the characteristics of John as a mentor, okay? So take a few minutes for that. And then, if you will, ask everyone here to share where they're at, because we want to tell John where we're at, and something really cool about our internship. Okay?
Okay. So, like I said, John's kind of the dad. That's kind of, I feel like that's how he is like a mentor. You know, he always comes to you and makes sure that, you know, you're okay, you know, with what you're doing, and make sure that, you know, you're doing what you have to do. I kind of lost what I was going to say in the other layer. Anyway, but, I mean, he's very, like, comforting and welcoming. So he makes sure that, you know, you feel comfortable doing what you do. He's really open if you have questions about anything. I'm losing everything that I was going to say.
Has there ever been a time where you noticed John, you didn't do what he wanted, or someone didn't do what he wanted, and how did he then redirect that person from something that kind of fell apart but then regrouped?
I mean, I don't know, like there's been a few times where like there's been an issue, but it doesn't like blow up or anything like that. Like I know there's a few mentors that I've had who've done that, and I think that's really important, and I think it's very positive, you know, as an employee, because, you know, it's a lot better to, you know, not be yelled at, and that's kind of like how Angus was brought up, constructive criticism, yeah. So I mean, you know, it kind of just, you know, goes over like policy and rules and stuff like that with you, and just, you know, hey, next time, like, let's do this or whatever, and then kind of brings it up with everybody else. And then we have our team meetings, kind of help crew circles up and stuff like that, and I think that's really important.
Put it out to the ground now.
So Queen, where you at?
Nice.
So my background is at Choice. It's the Center for Humane. And we do like home births and like we have doulas and midwives there.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool things on my site. I don't know. Like, I like it all. Janet? I'm at the same site. One of my favorite things is like they just said here, it is like a family fair. And it's a smaller place, so it feels more homey.
Awesome.
And the big project you're working on?
Oh, we have a library system we're working on. We put in the names of the books and everything, and then we're gonna get it made digital, so it's easier for Melody and Chris to, you know, when the books get checked out.
One of the things I picked up on when you just said is what I was touching on is, you know, no matter where you're at or what you're doing, we're all doing the same things. They're just different. They're a little different. You know, like we might be doing food here, and you might be doing the more of the medical stuff over there, having babies. You know, I mean that's cool. But when it comes down to it, you're learning those basic skills, and that's what's important. You know, you can apply those no matter where you're at or what you do. The same. So, cool.
I got involved with Body Art. It's a tattoo and piercing shop. I mean, like everyone else's, different. It's really just a big family. We have a ton of people there. But I mean, it's really just a big thing normal 18-year-old interns aren't able to do. I'm just learning so much about like proper way to pierce certain things, cleaning, like how to keep things like sanitary, don't like what word am I looking for? Like cross-contaminate. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Just like really good like cleaning skills and just like proper taking care of like your body, I guess. I know that kind of sounds weird, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
That doesn't sound weird at all. What do we talk about a lot? Sanitation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sanitation, cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
making sure we're not cross-contaminating. It's all, yeah, it all fits together. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I love it there.
Yes. And just be careful once you step. There might be a little bit of liquid on the floor. We just closed down from lunch. Lindsay. Everybody just gather in right here. Come on in. Slide on down. So this is, believe it or not, this is our kitchen. It's a little tight in here. It's a little small. But this is where the magic happens. We prepare food for all over this great big building here in this little space. And we feed about anywhere from 8 to 1,200 people a day out of this kitchen. So you can imagine imagine during lunch how busy it is and what's going on. We normally have about 3 chefs here working and 3 chefs over here working. They're communicating back and forth, preparing meals, and then this all gets carried out to the front of the house to serve it, okay? So big operation, fast-paced. What was your name again? Moshe? Moshe? Yeah. So Moshe hit the nail on the head when he said it's a fast-paced environment. Really, that's what it comes down to. People want to get in, they want to get out, they want to eat good food and go back to work. They only get 15 minutes for the break.
Wow.
15 minutes. So they got to come down the steps, grab their food, either take it back to their desk or do whatever they're going to do. In 15 minutes, they got to be back. So, it's pretty quick. Any questions about anything in here? Okay, let's move on out to the front side of the house.
Can we come through?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Miss Diane.
Hello, Miss Mary.
All right, everybody, this is Mary Sapp's mom. You all know Mary, right?
The house. This is where our customers come in, they get their meals. But during lunch, we'll have this set up. This will be the entree bar. We have a pizza bar. We actually have a full service grill, so you can go up and order like a hamburger or a chicken sandwich, whatever you'd like. Over here we have fusion going on, and then we also have a full service Subway, so to speak, where you can come up and you can customize the deli sandwich. So a lot going on out here, again, and I'm going to let Deja tell you a little bit about what she did.
Your favorite too. Yeah, Dave.
Well, I think I've done everything except for the entree station over here. I think my favorite, I don't know, is probably fusion. It's pretty fast paced. Everything's there in front of you. It's pretty easy. You get to talk to customers a little bit more than at the grill. And you have to, hurry up, turn around, and do stuff. But I spent most of my time working on the grill, but that was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
What were some of the items you made?
Fusion. My first thing that we did, I don't remember what it's called.
Strawberry almond chicken salad.
Well, yeah, that was one of them.
Close enough.
And we did the Southwest chicken salad. We had, I don't know what it's called, but we did the sausage and vegetables.
Stir fry.
Yeah, the stir fry. And that was the first one I did.
So Deja actually got to do some cooking while she was here too. She got to do a saute station where people would come up and we would have about 10 different types of veggies and 2 different types of meats. They pick and choose what they wanted, and she would place it in a skillet and saute it for the customer right in front of her. So it's really cool that she got to do that, because when you go out to the restaurant world, that's one of the things that they're looking for. They're looking for people that's performed in front of them. So that was an awesome achievement such as that to help me out. So. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Well, you were talking about Thailand. That's a really remarkable skill to be able to work. And Cap City, it's a diner, so you have and the 2 sides of the kitchen that are open right in entry. So I've got eyes on me at all times. So it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when you're really busy and trying to focus and stuff like that.
Yeah, many great chefs compare a theater to a kitchen, and that's why I use front of the stage, back of the house, back of the stage. When you're out front, you're on stage. You're performing. You're performing just like you were if you were at a performance theater. So because everybody's watching, so that's one of those skills that's very, very tough to learn and perform when you're out front. Any other questions or any other comments on this out here? All right, we're going to move on out to the dining room.
Thankful for working with her and what I learned while I was there, and I also offered to come back after high school, so I'm going to be working with her.
But you wrote her a thank you letter. Okay, so I see Randy and I go, yeah, Rand, did you get any mail? And she said, yeah. And I said, Randy, how did it make you feel? She said, I've never received a thank you letter. And I never really knew if I meant anything to anybody. Especially teachers. We're shocked. Because all we think we do is piss you off. All we think we do is just make you mad. Because we give you another assignment. So for a teacher to hear that, how Marty felt, she was almost speechless when she said it. So, and she didn't know. So I invite you to the people in your lives who are your mentors. Thank them. Because it's just something that, we just don't hear enough of. Okay? So you think about it.